We're very pleased with the results. This ruling by the Human Rights Commission affirms the decision of the hearings officer earlier in the year that, there was no discrimination and that the actions taken were within the law. So we're happy about that decision. It was a unanimous decision by the Human Rights Commission, and at some point it's just going to be nice to put this behind us. It's just been a distraction from the important work that we do for our community. So hopefully this will put us closer to moving forward.
Sure. Now, as 2018 approaches here, have you made any decisions about running for re-election, or is that a decision you haven't made yet?
No, I intend to seek re-election for sheriff. There's still some time, fortunately, before that process starts again. But no, I'm very pleased and honored to be the sheriff here in Missoula. We've accomplished a lot of great things for the department in regards to increasing staffing levels for both deputies as well as detention officers. The first year specifically of my term, we've replaced a lot of the necessary equipment. Our patrol fleet's now on a 5-year, 100,000-mile replacement plan. Every deputy and transport officer has an updated ballistic vest, as well as we've updated the taser equipment. And I'm happy to say, Peter, that every deputy also has a body camera. And so we've done some great work already. And then there's more work to be done. I want to focus more on our efforts with jail diversion and continue at looking at alternatives to incarceration for the nonviolent, non-dangerous offenders to try to come up with a program and a master plan that really leads the state in a positive way to rehabilitate people that suffer from substance abuse issues, and also try to eliminate the county jail being the place for people with mental illnesses. So a lot of good work to be done that I'm hopefully looking forward to do in the years to come.
Sheriff, there was a newspaper article recently with some rather large amounts of money that were paid in the last couple of years in overtime to your captains and supervisory personnel, and wanted to find out what your reaction was.
Well, it is true that our captains now receive overtime for any hours they work at a time-and-a-half rate beyond their 40-hour work week. It's important to note, though, that historically captains have been able to receive overtime for work associated with coroner duties or being called out, as well as some of the other work that we do for other agencies under grant programs where that overtime rate is reimbursed. But our captains work very hard. This last weekend was a great example of a busy weekend that involved lightning strikes and wildland fires, a search and rescue operation for a couple floaters that ran into an emergency, and then the 2 traffic fatalities. And just this last weekend, those events required the admin officers to come out and assist with the coroner duties, as well as commanding some of those search and rescue operations. So it's, they work hard. There's a lot of work out there, and the actions I took to allow them to get overtime for those types of things, I feel were warranted, and they need to be properly compensated when they're out working for our community and away from their families.
And it might also be helpful for folks to know that the Missoula City Police Department has over 100 personnel, and you have barely a fraction of that with a huge area to cover. So I would imagine that has to factor in.
Well, it does. And another big factor, Peter, is it's just so hard to predict these calls for services. And we've had some major incidences occur in our community, criminal events with robberies and hostages, pursuits, as well as double homicides, and things that not only require patrol response, but detective responses. And all of those also require an administration response. So, it's difficult to try to gauge or limit the amount of overtime, but, when something out there happens, it's just super important to, have the administration, the captain specifically, or the undersheriff to be out to supervise those things. Just offhand, the shooting of the deputy over in Broadwater County that ended in a pursuit and a shootout in our county. I mean, we expended a lot of overtime, just dealing with that situation, and that certainly involved the captains and administration staff as well. So it's warranted. They're doing the work, and they need to be paid appropriately.
Got it. All right.
One other thing, Peter, is in reference to the city police department. Our captains, even with making overtime, are still probably paid less than, their counterparts, the captains at the city police department, for the same, type of responsibilities. So it's a story that the Missoulian chose to run with,